Hi, welcome to Coach's Corner. Basketball this week. The playoffs begin on Thursday and Friday. The regionals for our girls and boys basketball teams. Both our basketball teams have tough first-round draws. Alan Hibler, our boys coach, is with us. And Coach, you got an awful tough draw going to Edmond Memorial for your first-round game.
Yeah, we do. The rankings kind of surprised me. They had come out earlier. The first week they came out, it looked like we was going to get a matchup with either Bixby or Broken Arrow, which would have been really, really good for us. And the last rankings came out, and Sand Springs jumped us in Bartlesville and pushed us down from Bixby to having to go play Edmond Memorial on their home floor. And we sure was hoping for better, and sometimes that happens. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with we don't see a lot of those Tulsa schools throughout the year because of our schedule and their schedule, and the fact that we can't get those people on the schedule because they're in such a large conference. And I think that really hurt us as to where the rankings came out. And Edmond Memorial's a very good basketball team. They have 2 losses on the year and 2 quality losses. They've got some tremendous athletes. They've got great size. No 6'8", 6'9", but they've got 3 or 4 guys who are in the 6'4", 6'5" range, and just really big kids, not 6'4", 6'5" skinny kids, but thick kids and things. They got a guard that shoots the ball extremely well, and they have one of the 6'5" kids by the name of Doolittle, who is just a probably a mid-major type player. Tulsa University, Oral Roberts, that size school, just a really, really good player. So, we're going to have to play extremely well when we go down there. We're going to have to maintain possession of the basketball and, dictate the pace of the game and, try to keep it from getting into an up-and-down game.
Well, Edmond Memorial is the answer to a trivia question, Coach. What school in the state has produced point guards for both the University of Tulsa and the University of Oklahoma that start right now? And it's Edmond Memorial.
That's true. I mean, the Woodard brothers that came out of there were just tremendous players. It's a lot of reasons that they went back-to-back state championships. They sent a kid to Wichita State, a big kid, 6'8" kid, and undoubtedly, Wichita State's not just taking anybody because they're number 4 in the nation right
Yeah.
now. I believe the only undefeated team left in major college basketball. And, they've had a run of athletes for about the last 3 or 4 years that have been really good. And, they've got another great class this year. Not the big-time Division I players that they've had in the past, but, definitely some kids that are quality kids. And, Edmond Memorial's had a great basketball tradition. I mean, as we look back, it started years ago. I mean, Bill Self, the coach of Kansas, is an Edmond Memorial product. And, basketball has always been the #1 game in town in Edmond, even with football. I mean, basketball's the king in Edmond. You have Edmond Memorial, Edmond Santa Fe is a traditional power. Edmond North is kind of the one school that's lacking a little bit, but they've had some good years.
When you look at this body of work this season, early on with the great upset win in Game 3 this year, it looked like we were on track maybe to finish without having to go play somebody on their home court for the first round of the playoffs. But again, as the season went on, and as you mentioned, the fact that where we're located, whether people want to believe it or not, it works so much against us because of the proximity, and then you throw in the record and the fact that not a lot of people have seen us, with the exception of, I think, the Victory Christian Ball Club. We really don't see anybody unless it's in a tournament on the east side of the state.
Well, the only 2 teams on the east side of the state that we played all year are Enid and Stillwater. The other 13 teams that are over there, we haven't seen them. They haven't seen us play things. Well, I take that back. We also played Sapulpa this year. But, we don't see those people, and they don't see a lot of game film on us or anything such as that, as we don't see a lot of game film on them because we're not playing common opponents. and things. So, that hurts us because perception is a lot, what they see on film and what they see when you play them and things. And, we've talked about it before, as we've said here, it's kind of an equitable program, the way we do it. But until they change it to like all our other sports, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, and we're in districts like those schools, and you earn your position by what you do on the court. It's not a judgment of anybody and things. We were really disappointed. I talked to the Bartlesville coach. I mean, both of us were really disappointed that Sand Springs jumped us in this last poll. They hadn't been ahead of us the whole year in the rankings until the very last one came out. So, it put us both in bad positions. Bartlesville went from playing would have been Stillwater in the first round to playing Bixby on their home floor. We went from playing Bixby, which we would have been on their home floor, but Bixby's not the Edmond Memorial, and so it both kind of cost both of us. But until things changes, I mean that's the system that's in place. We just have to do a better job with our one-loss record and things. Unfortunately, we can't get those schools on the schedule that we're going to play because they're all in these super conferences, and nobody wants to let us in because we're such an isolated community. I mean, it's not that we haven't tried. I mean, we've approached these conferences and things and asked for permission to get in, but it's got to be a unanimous vote to get into these conferences. And if just one person says no, I mean, you're not going to change that. And distance is always a factor cited, and until things change with school financing and things, that's always going to be an issue.
Or the OSSAA stepping in. Yeah.
With the district plan, that's one of the things, the rally that's coming up on March 31st with the education system across the state is school funding. I mean, I know Dr. Pennington has spent a lot of time educating the school personnel and the community and things about what's going on with this situation. And, I've been in it long enough that, I can understand from a superintendent's point of view. I mean, if you can drive 45 minutes across town and play somebody, and it's going to cost you $150 for the trip, bus, and all that stuff, versus going to Ponca City, which is a 2-hour and a half trip, it's going to cost you $400. I mean, they have to look out for the entire school, not just the athletic program. So, we're hoping, I know we're talking to the OSSA about the district situation, and they're proposing the class split in all sports, just like they did for football. And I really think it's just a matter of time, but we don't know when that time's going to come. And so we just have to make the best with the situation we're in, and do the best we can.
Sometimes teams look at also how they're playing right now, Coach, and I remember a year ago at this time, we liked our draw in the first round, and we went to Bartlesville and darn near beat Bartlesville on their home court. I think the scenario is a little different because we just haven't been clicking on all gears the last couple of weeks.
No, we haven't. I mean, we've had some nagging injuries and stuff, and we've had some guys miss practice because of those nagging injuries and things. We've had a thigh bruise, we've had some ankles, we had a hip pointer and things, and that's really hurt us. We played really well on back-to-back nights against Enid and Bartlesville here, and then kind of the injury bug hit us, and we've kind of lost some of our offensive continuity that we had developed at that time because of guys missing practice and being out of the lineup and things. And practice is so important. I mean, that's where all the work takes place for the games on Tuesday and Friday nights. And but you just gotta live with it. I mean, that happens sometimes. I mean, kids get injuries and things, and it's really hard to ask a kid to go out there and practice for you, and when they're injured, because you're trying to get them healed up so they can play in the games, because they can contribute to you in the games and things. So that's just something you have to deal with, and some years it happens, some years it doesn't happen. And, unfortunately for us, this is one of the years kind of right after we started clicking and felt really good about the way things were going. The injury bug kind of bit us and things. But, the thing we have to do, and we haven't done, we haven't been very consistent in scoring the basketball. I mean, we'll really score the basketball one quarter and put 16 to 20 points on the board. And then we'll go through a quarter where we put 4 points on the board. And, we're just not making shots, and it's so important to make shots in basketball. Making shots covers up a lot of deficiencies on the defensive end, on the offensive end. If the ball's going through the basket, you can get away with a whole lot more mistakes. And when you're not scoring the basketball, those mistakes defensively, the mistakes on the offensive end, just tend to magnify themselves a bunch. And so hopefully we can, we play tonight. We have Guthrie tonight, which is a very big game for us. I mean, we need to try to get some offensive continuity tonight and, put the ball in the hole. And, that's going to help us defensively. When that ball's going through the basket, everybody's confidence goes up. And, you feel a whole lot better about yourself. I mean, we'll work the offense for 30 seconds and get a wide open shot, then it not go in the basket, and that's a downer and things. And you do that 5 or 6 trips in a row. You're like, gosh, what do I got to do to try to score this basketball? And we need to put points on the board, and because so much pressure's on our defense. And hopefully we can get some of that continuity back tonight. We've got everybody kind of semi-healthy, not completely healthy, but we're just going to have to go play with those injury bugs, and hope we can gut it out and get some things accomplished, and then get back in the gym and prepare our game plan for Edmond Memorial, which we need 3 really, really good days of work before we go play them. We're kind of at that point in the season. We're kind of beat up. We've got some kids with some strains and sprains and different things like that. We need to work on the court, but we need to be careful because we don't want to aggravate those injuries and make them any worse. And we've got to have everybody as close to 100% when we go to Edmond Memorial as possible. And it's going to be very important that we're able to execute the game plan pretty much to perfection.
You mentioned the word pressure, and as we get to playoff time this week, rightfully so, the pressure is on the favored teams, and your ball club will not be favored. I guess one thing going in your favor is that at least the guys can be loose, and the longer they can hang with Edmond Memorial, and you've been in that spot too, the more difficult we can make that game for them.
Well, we should play loose and play with abandonment because we don't have anything to lose. But, hopefully we can stay in the game and make it close and make the game ugly. And, just ugly the thing up and make every possession a struggle and make every possession a long possession, where they have to play defense for quite some time. And, hopefully it will play into the fact that we play defense for a minute and a half down there at that end. We got to go score and hurry because we haven't had the ball. And, hopefully that will force them into taking some bad shots and things because they haven't touched the ball. But, we can't get into a track meet with this team. I mean, that's how they like to play, up and down the floor. I mean, they're 18-2 with a lot of success, coming off a huge win over Midwest City on Thursday night at Midwest City, where they upset the Midwest City Bombers. They were number 2 in the state, and so their confidence is very high. I mean, they're off all week and things, so hopefully without that game here on a Tuesday night or a Monday night, without that competition, they'll be a little bit off their game. But we have a huge challenge ahead of us, but we're not going to shy away from it. We're going to prepare, and we're going to go down there, and we're going to give it everything we have to make it a ball game and hopefully find a way to maybe steal a win. I mean, I've already started with the kids. The whole goal is let's be in it in the fourth quarter where we have a chance to maybe hit a couple baskets, create a couple turnovers, get some stops, and find a way to win right there at the end.
Wildcats will play Friday night at Edmond Memorial at 8 o'clock in their regional first-round basketball game. Good luck to Coach Hibler and the Wildcats. That's Coach's Corner. I'm Phil Turney.